This is the very first event that I've ever done. I had a lot of help, I'll go into that, but I am just thrilled. So my name is Tanya Phillips, and I am a disabled combat veteran, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story so that you can understand why we're here today. So I went to Iraq, and in 2008, so 18 years ago. It does not feel like 18 years ago. So I went to Iraq 18 years ago. I had the coolest job on earth. I was the commander of a military intelligence office or unit. So if you know anything about that, that's like all the spy work. So I was in charge of the spy equipment, the spy people, the investigators, all the cool stuff like I got to do. My job was a really cool job. So I love military intelligence, and I loved my time in the Army. However, I was injured while I was there. It wasn't an exciting injury, the kind that like you go on the news for or they make movies about. Mine, I don't even know how I really got my injury, but I have 4 bulging discs, a torn disc, a dislocated disc, and sciatica in both legs. So I was very broken, but I was assigned to an all-male unit, and if you know anything about the Army, that is very intimidating, and I was not only the only female, but I was also in charge. I was one of the officers, and so they wanted any chance to eat me alive. If they had the opportunity, they were going to. So there was no way I was going to let them know that I was hurt. There was no way that I was going to tuck my tail between my legs and be sent home. So I went to the doctor, and I told the doctor, I can't do it. I can't go home. If you're going to tell my command how injured I am, then I'm not going to come and get help. And they said, okay, we'll do what we can. And so they fed me Army candy. Does anybody know what Army candy is? Hydrocodone. We call it Army candy because that's what we need a lot. So I was basically living off of this Army candy to be able to survive the rest of my time there. The month before it was time to come home, my husband, who wasn't very good with money, accidentally wiped out the bank account. And when I asked about it, he said, I just want a divorce. I don't want to argue about the money. So here I am. I'm in terrible pain. I'm doped up on medicine I don't really want to be on. I'm in a unit that was not my unit and that doesn't want a female and definitely doesn't want a female in charge. So I was mentally just drained at that point. In addition to all of that, when I left home, I know Sherry can attest to this, when I left home, I left twin 1.5-year-olds. So I was coming home to kids who didn't even know who I was. And as a mom, that was really hard. And so I had all these different things coming. In addition to all of that, it was the perfect storm, I promise. It was like if you could have written it to make it the worst case scenario, this was it. In addition to all of that, our unit did what they thought was wonderful, which was get us home just in time for Christmas. However, as a mom who hasn't seen their kids and doesn't think that their kids know who you even are, that was the most stressful time. And in addition, my husband's asked for a divorce. So all of a sudden I'm going to a home. I don't know if my husband's moved out. I don't know if my husband's moved somebody in. My kids don't know me. I can barely walk. I'm on all sorts of drugs. I was just really mentally and physically 100% broken. 100% on both sides. I was National Guard, so I had a Monday through Friday job at home waiting for me. And so because we got home 5 days before Christmas, I was a teacher and I ran straight to my school to say, hey, I'm home, I'll be right back after the break. You know, I'm ready to jump back into my classroom. And they wouldn't let me in the building. They had cut my job while I was gone. They claimed it was budget cuts. I asked how many jobs were cut. 1. How many people were deployed? 1. So on top of everything else, I was crushed. So now my savings is gone because my husband wiped it out. My husband's income is gone because he's decided to move on. And now I have no job. and I'm injured, and my kids don't know who I am, and it's Christmas. I was devastated. My life had turned upside down, and I didn't know how to put one foot in front of the other. I sat on my couch, and I got deeper and deeper and deeper until I just felt like I was one with that couch. In the next 2 months, we lost lots of veterans to suicide in the state of Arkansas. Not all of them had deployed with us, but there was just this perfect storm. I'm sure you remember we had a rash of suicides in the state of Arkansas amongst our veterans. And so the military decided to hire somebody to address it. So I got hired. My boss that I went to Iraq with, he knew that I had lost my job. He didn't know anything else. Remember, he didn't know I was injured because I wouldn't let the doctor tell anybody. He didn't know that I was getting divorced, but he did know that I had lost my job. So he called me up and he said, hey, we've got this position coming open. We think you'd be great for it. You know, come apply. And I did, and I got the job. And I became the state's first suicide prevention program manager. Thank you. Thank you so much. But now, with all of that said, I want you to think about where I was. I literally had considered suicide. I couldn't do it because of my children. I would never do that to them. All I would do is pass the pain on to them. But I was devastated. I just didn't know how to put one foot in front of the other. I didn't know how I was going to support my children. And mentally and physically, I was completely broken. And so I knew exactly where they were and how they felt. And all of a sudden, I had this rush of energy. I got to get my shit together because I got to help them. And it gave me purpose. I had a purpose again. Somebody needed me. And I've got to figure out how to get healthy mentally and physically. I've got to figure out how to get there so that I can help other people that are in a worse place than I am. And so that's my backstory. And that is where Reinventing Ourselves comes from. When I was the state suicide prevention program manager, we didn't have a suicide prevention plan. We didn't have a suicide prevention program in Arkansas. We were the only state in the nation that didn't have one. And so we had to create it, everything from scratch. And we weren't getting any federal funding. We weren't getting any of the federal programs because we didn't have anything in place. And so we were able to create all that. We got laws passed. The suicide hotline, when you call the 800 number, well now it's 988. When you call that 800 number, it bounces back to the state. Ours was going to voicemail. Voicemail. Can you imagine being suicidal, calling an 800 number for help, and then getting a voicemail that says, please hang up and call 1-800-273-TALK, which is what you just called. And you call it again, and it says the same thing again. I mean, there's nothing worse than that, in my opinion. So we got all of that fixed. We had help from everyone, Democrats, Republicans, the governor, everyone was on board. Our head general in the military, in the old days, if you had mental health problems, it was time for you to go. You could no longer serve. But our general was so wonderful and so gracious. He wanted to help. He would go with me to the hospital to visit patients. He wanted to show that he cared and that he wanted to support the soldiers. He knew where they had been, he knew what they had been through, and he wanted to be there for them. And he was just amazing. But what I learned was our healthcare system is reactive. Our healthcare system throws a prescription or maybe at the most gives you a 72-hour hold in the hospital. But they don't address the root cause. They don't try to figure out what's going on that's causing you to feel the way that you're feeling and address that. So that's where Reinventing Ourselves comes from. Reinventing Ourselves is a nonprofit, 501c3. So any money you want to give us is tax deductible. But we are a nonprofit, and we have the sole intent, our mission is to promote health, happiness, and hope. And so I just wanted to tell you the backstory before we get started. I'm trying to make sure I stay on time. All right, these statistics. Arkansas is ranked. I have this over there at that table. There's like a flip chart. So I have this over there as well. Arkansas is ranked 49th in the nation for overall health and wellness. 49th out of 50 states. And you know what? Mississippi isn't even behind us. How bad is that? Mississippi is above us in this. We rank number 1 in the nation for maternal mortality rate. So women giving birth die more here than any other state. Number 1 for food insecurity. Number 3 in the nation for infant mortality. Number 3 in the nation for obesity. Number 4 in the nation for violent crime. Number 6 in the nation for highest mental distress. 10th in the nation for suicide. We used to be much higher. 45th for life expectancy. 49th in the nation. So we want to go from 49th to 1st. We want to help. That is our sole mission. We want to work with anyone and everyone. We want to collaborate. Several of you in here are part of the Arkansas Wellness Network. If you are, raise your hand for me. Several of you, yes. Thank you so much. So we just launched the Arkansas Wellness Network in January, so we're only 3.5 months old. And we have the coolest providers, let me just say. We have a podcast. Our podcast producer is here, Pam, back there. So we have a podcast that introduces you to our providers. So once people sign up, we do a background check on them. We want to make sure they're not going to scam you. We want to make sure we've had personal trainers who do one-on-one personal training in your home, who are registered sex offenders in other states. We have financial advisors who have been in trouble for financial fraud before. So we require a background check to join the Arkansas Wellness Network, and we also verify the credentials or license that they say that they have. And the reason for that is there are so many people that call themselves a health coach or a wellness coach. They have 0 credentials, 0 training, 0 education, nothing, and they sell something. They sell a little bottle of pills or a drink or something like that, and they call themselves a health and wellness coach. And so the whole intent for the Arkansas Wellness Network is for us to promote true providers that are out for the right reason, that they're trying to promote health, happiness, and hope. All right, so then we also have, and Pam is very involved. This is her and I are both disabled combat veterans, and we have both been very, very broken. However, we are very, very healed now. Oh, I actually have something special. This was not planned. However, there was a piece of pottery.
Oh, it's right there. No, it was right there. I saw it.
Okay, I'll keep speaking if you... If you see it. Okay, we'll get back to that. So Pam and I work on another project. So we have the Arkansas Wellness Network. Pam and I work on another project, and that project is called Thriving After the Fire. So we take survivors who have gone through absolute hell. Absolute hell. Thank you so much. They are completely broken. It may be any kind of tragedy. It could be domestic violence. It could be suicide. Well, they didn't commit suicide if they were being recorded on the podcast. Maybe they thought about suicide. It could be drug issues, so many different things. Anyway, Pam and I sit down with them, we get to know them, and we help them tell their story. And so we have a podcast for that. Those survivors also get a free web page to promote if they have a book. Some of them have books. Some of them sell things. A lot of the times they have a disability, and so they aren't able to have a traditional job. So we had a wonderful donor who sponsored a website for us, and they all get their own page on that website, and they get to sell whatever it is they sell. They keep 100% of the money. We don't touch any of it. It goes like we're not even the middleman. If they sell something, they have to contact them directly, because we don't want to keep any of their money. We want it all to go to them, and we want to help them tell their story. So, our survivors think that they are broken. This dish was broken. Have you guys ever seen, I think it's called kintsugi? So it's where there is broken pottery, and you think, well, I broke this. It's broken now. It's a disaster. It's ruined. I can't do anything with it. Well, that's very symbolic of people like Pam and I, where we thought we were broken. We didn't know how to put one foot in front of the other, but then we eventually figured it out. And as we heal, the cracks are filled in, and they're covered in gold. And I just got back from Japan, 4 days ago? I just got back from Japan, and I took a class on kintsugi. And Pam, I knew I was going to make her cry. She's going to make me cry. You are not broken.
Thank you.
You're a thriver.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, and thank you for everything you do for us. Pam is 100% a volunteer, basically working full-time doing this, so I really appreciate her. We also have another program that just is launching, and that is Arkansas Strong. And Mike over here, he works for, okay, tell me, because I always get it wrong, Service Restoration. He works for Service Restoration. He works with people after disasters. So when there's fires, when there's, an absolute disaster, he goes in floods, whatever. He goes into the homes and he helps them put their life back together, because I think, what'd you say, it has to be done in the first 3 days. And so he gets that call and goes in the middle of the night, and he responds just like a fireman would, and he helps them put everything back together and lets them know that it's going to be okay, because their whole world has just been turned upside down. And so Mike asked if we could put together a program where we help educate people and inform them how they can be prepared ahead of time, so that they're ready when there is a disaster, and they're not as turned upside down, and they have the supplies or tools that they need. So, Mike, thank you very much. We really appreciate you. I want to thank, I got 5 minutes. I want to thank all of our presenters. I am so grateful. I thought that if I ever did something like this, that I would be the presenter up here the whole time. I have the shortest time. Y'all just heard my story and that's it, I'm done. And I'm so thrilled. Like, I know how to do all these things, but the fact that a whole team of people wanted to help us do this was just amazing to me. So Casey Johnson in the back, thank you so much. Casey is the owner of the Yoga Collective here in Arkansas. I'm sure you guys have heard of that before. And then we have Jonay Holly here. Jonay just moved to Arkansas, and she said, I'm having a hard time finding my people. I said, oh, you got a whole room full of them right here. So Jonay is here with us. And we really appreciate her. Jonay just moved all the way from Florida, and she is a holistic life coach, so we're really excited that she's here as well. Sean, there he is. Sean is our magnificent artist, and he is going to be taking us through a little walk, a little meditation with art, and so thank you very much. He has his own business. They just moved here also from Alaska, right? From Florida to Alaska, look at that. And they're starting up their own business, their own wellness business. His wife is a doula, and he is doing I know I'm not supposed to say art therapy, but he's basically doing art therapy. All right, and then I have somebody who has more titles and more initials than I do, Reverend Dr. Russ Jackman, all the way in the back with the coolest beard. He is with us from Unity, and he is going to be talking about community, and he's going to bless our food for us. Oh, and most importantly, we have food. And we have this gentleman right here, Mike Russian. Thank you so much. Mike owns Russian Homes, and we are so very grateful. Thank you so much. That was a huge burden lifted off of me because I was going to cook. And you really didn't want me to do that. I was. You don't want me to do that. And then, yeah, thank you. And then last but not least, Carla. Carla, thank you so much. Carla is the owner of the Dome, and she is going to end the night with the most special presentation that we have. And Carla has all this land. It is the most beautiful, beautiful land here, and this Dome is just gorgeous. And you can talk about the Dome. I don't want to ruin that for you, but we really are so very grateful. Our sponsors, obviously, the Legend of Greater Things Retreat and Event Center. So it's this dome, but then down the street, and I'm staying in it. She's so nice, she let me stay in it. There is a cottage down there, and it is a gorgeous Airbnb that you can rent. So, and then you can rent this dome. The Yoga Collective is one of our sponsors. We're so appreciative of. Russian Home, we're so appreciative of. And then Angel Studios. Angel is back here, and Angel is donating. Angel was gracious enough to donate her time and skills today to capture this moment so that we can let people know what we're about and what we're promoting, and they can learn more about us. And we really appreciate you. Thank you so much.